Hey kids, it's the borderline man here, your favorite middle-aged man with opinions. So if it's one thing I've addressed several times, but not really in a standalone video, it's the use of medications in psychiatry, in treatment of depression or depression-related conditions. It's very simple. It is extremely overused. It is horribly overused. Now, let me get this out instantly so nobody thinks I'm against medication. You need it as a treatment for acute problems to stop people who are very depressed from feeling really, really bad. And yes, it has an effect on long term as well. It can stabilize things and make you feel better. But it's like a band-aid. A band-aid without any treatment or any fix of the wound behind the band-aid. You have a deep cut of some sort, and you are constantly just putting on band-aids when you should try to find the reason you get this cut constantly and sew it up. I mean, sure, band-aids work to some extent, but it's a perpetual thing, and you don't want a perpetual treatment of your condition. You want a solution that works long term. And here's the thing. Science within psychiatry knows that so-called organic depression, meaning depression that is without any social or psychological reason, is extremely rare. So when you have so-called unexplainable depression, it's because you haven't actually either not met the right therapist. I mean, that's a thing. The therapy is really lacking, or it's actually you who are reluctant to face the facts that this part of your treatment is extremely difficult. Extremely. There is no quick fix to most depressions. Most depressions are extremely hard to fix. Some possibly impossible because of it being some sort of trauma, really. But organic depression, when there's no real reason for you to have chemical unbalance in your brain, as it is described, is actually very rare. And we know this because we know that just the same way as medical treatment works, so does real, directed, and correctly administered therapy. Getting the right form of therapy. That also works. And not only that, it works permanently. It doesn't need continuous, refilling or readjustment of anything. It actually works. So it bothers me greatly that we have a medical system, and we accept this medical treatment system where we just continue to just medicate psychological and psychiatric problems. This is horrific. It is borderline, let me be funny there for a while, the pun intended. It is borderline madness that we agree to this. Because the only reason we agreed to this is because the option, working therapy, is extremely costly. And it will also take one hell of an effort from you. And sadly, the thing most people lack most of the time when being depressed is the drive and energy to do things, to handle things. I mean, that's one of the core fundamental symptoms of depression, is being very, I wouldn't use the word lazy, but you know what I mean. A person inept, a person unable to do and perform things. So, science knows this, and medical science also promotes it officially that, yes, let's do medical treatment. But then, when that helps, when that takes the edge of things, we must start doing therapy. But to a larger extent, this never really happens. And I think it's because you get this quick fix, which medications are actually, and you become dependent on that, and you feel reluctant to do more. But you, of course, know that doesn't really help things. Beneath the surface, you are constantly wary and feeling that there is something going wrong. You're not going to be perfectly happy with it. You're not going to be cured. You almost convince yourself it is impossible to cure you. And all of this is a bloody plague on all of the Western world right now. I don't like talking about big pharma and stuff like that, but because it is always a bit, tinfoily, because there's of course more to it than that. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing that the medical companies promote this and invest a lot of this, and that it sits in the background. And another thing I think is more important is that we don't give enough time and resources for doctors to deal with this. Because treating a patient with a non-organic depression is time consuming. You are going to need a lot of time and a lot of knowledge and a lot of resources to get you on the right track, to find the treatment that works for you, the therapy method that works for you, because there are plenty of those. And depending on the reason for your depression, it could be existential. It usually probably is some form of existential depression. It could be a reason for some trauma. It could be a personality disorder, like I myself have in the background, that also affect things. No matter the reason, whatever it is, there is usually a therapy method that can make things become a lot better, if not even cured. There is zero medical cures out there. All of those are band-aids, treatments you use to stop the bleeding at first hand. That is all they are. So, how do you get around all of this then? Well, the obvious answer is we need a revolution of the Western world, its economies and everything, where medical treatment is, administered a lot of more money. Yeah, I mean, we are talking not just a couple of more percent, we are talking about tripling or quadrupling the money put into psychiatric and psychological care. And that's not going to happen. But one thing you can do when suffering from depression is to know these things and know that you're never going to find a a quick fix, a quick solution to your problem. I know your heart aches for it and you want it, but it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. You need to find the reason for your depression, and you need to deal with that reason. That is the sad truth. And if that is impossible, let's say you are living in a hellhole of a life where everything around you is really bad, I'm not going to suggest that you just change it. I know very well a lot of people can't just change things. They are stuck. But you must know that that is the reason. Don't kid yourself about anything else. Don't pretend that it's just organic, I can't do anything about it. Yes, you can. In theory, you can. But you won't because of other reasons. Some reasons of those are going to be, as I just said, very, very reasonable and very, very good reasons you can change. Others is going to be you being comfortable where you are. Being, well, I wouldn't use the word lazy again, but it is connected to this. So, it's a hard path. You are going to have to suffer greatly, but you can become a lot more healthy in your mind with the right treatment and the right therapy. So, you need to educate yourself on therapies related to your depression. You need to find the reason for your depression. That's the first step. Why am I depressed? I bet there is something nagging you. And if not, well, either you are lacking very severely in self-awareness, or there is an organic depression and you are part of those. What are the numbers? I can't remember now. Like 5% of all depressions are connected to this. Organic depression. 5%. Are you really one of those 5%? Or are you the 95% that actually have a social or psychological reason for your condition? Or another condition as the reason for your depression? You need to find out these things. I went for 15 years suffering from depression, going to the doctor, getting antidepressants, and not really being much better because it wasn't depression. I had borderline, and it gave me depressional symptoms as a result of this untreated, unhandled borderline. I can't address and stress enough that you need to fix the problem. You need to understand if there is one. You need to do a lot of soul searching. With all love in my heart, I'm saying this. This is not a rant. This is not trying to put anything down that you're suffering from. And it's not trying to dismiss the hardships of this. I know. Everything is always a lot easier said than done. But you need to start saying it more and trying to do something about it. Take care.